For thousands of years, African civilizations engineered complex systems of governance, sustained ecological balance, advanced medical practices, and built towering monuments governed by ethical codes. Modern academia has partitioned this unified body of knowledge into separate, isolated academic departments. African ethics are sequestered within philosophy departments, while community customs are moved to anthropology. Indigenous medical practices are isolated under ethnomedicine, and the actual timelines of these civilizations are strictly partitioned into history. This creates a structural limitation. Each discipline captures a facet of reality, but no single field possesses the intellectual architecture to study the civilization as an integrated whole. Dividing the knowledge obscures the critical connections. We lose the view of how an indigenous model of governance is sustained by spiritual traditions, which in turn dictate its ecological practices. This fragmentation represents a structural organizational problem of the modern university system, rather than a deficiency in the African intellectual heritage. We visualize this problem as a cathedral hidden behind a wall, observed only through isolated windows. Philosophy shows stained glass, history shows the foundation. Studying these separately obscures the architecture. Only by removing the wall do the interconnected systems of the complete civilization become visible. This objective requires a new, dedicated academic discipline, Afrisophy, the African science of wisdom. Afrisophy provides the missing intellectual architecture, capable of integrating these diverse fields of African knowledge. This discipline stands alongside existing fields like sociology or history, rather than attempting to replace them. Afrisophy acts as the unifying framework, allowing specialized academic insights to be understood as interconnected expressions of one civilizational tradition. Establishing a rigorous new academic discipline requires laying down bedrock axioms. We begin with the foundational layer of ontology, the nature of reality. Afrisophy defines reality as the living universe, an integrated system where physical, social, and ecological dimensions continually interact. This framework, known as reality architecture, replaces reductionist models that try to isolate one dimension of existence from the rest. This living ontology leads to a dynamic framework for acquiring knowledge, epistemology. This second layer, living knowledge, integrates empirical scientific observation with communal reasoning and lived experience. This knowledge is preserved through root memory, the transmission of civilizational insights through languages, rituals, and institutions. Living knowledge demands constant critical evaluation by each new generation to ensure it remains relevant and adaptive. These foundational axioms transform the study of African knowledge into a dynamic, evolving civilizational engine. Beyond philosophical foundations, the discipline must establish its methodology. We must define how research within Afrisophy is actually conducted. This split-screen diagram contrasts traditional research with the Afrisophical approach. On the left, conventional studies often extract data from a passive African subject. The Afrisophical method on the right treats African civilization as an active producer of universal theory. In this methodology, oral traditions serve as rigorous historical archives. Indigenous governance models function as active political theory, and proverbs are analyzed as condensed philosophical reasoning. This work is guided by the principle of reality before theory. Research begins with lived experience, ensuring that theory explains reality rather than forcing reality to conform to assumptions. Methodological sovereignty elevates African knowledge to an equal partner in the global production of academic theory. A mature discipline requires its own specialized conceptual language to map its unique realities. Relying exclusively on external vocabulary to describe domestic realities causes a gradual erosion of intellectual independence. When a civilization interprets itself primarily through external systems, it enters a condition Afrisophy identifies as borrow mind. Borrow mind degrades intellectual confidence, weakening a society's capacity to innovate in education, governance, and research. The lexicon provides the remedy through mind return, recovering confidence by re-engaging with domestic wisdom systems. Mind return establishes the framework for civilisol, the enduring moral and intellectual identity, maintaining a civilization's character. The lexicon organizes these into interconnected families, linking civilisol to root memory and wisdom continuity. New terms are only admitted to this lexicon if they satisfy a strict requirement of analytical precision and conceptual necessity. Conceptual sovereignty provides the required scholarly infrastructure for true intellectual independence. An independent African discipline does not imply intellectual isolation. An integrated civilizational discipline serves as a bridge to broader global academic dialogue and creates a reciprocal exchange of knowledge between the Afrisophical network and other distinct global academic nodes. Afrisophy provides original frameworks for universal challenges, like the governance of artificial intelligence. By treating technology as a subset of reality architecture, the discipline applies communal ethics and intergenerational responsibility to the datasets and algorithms shaping modern life. Its application to environmental sustainability utilizes African models of stewardship to balance technological growth with long-term ecological reciprocity. This capacity to confidently define, critique, and contribute domestic wisdom to the world is wisdom sovereignty. Addressing the complex challenges of the 21st century requires integrating the diverse wisdom architectures of multiple civilizations. Afrisophy functions as a living academic engine designed for continuous evolution. Beyond simple historical preservation, the discipline is responsible for generating new, future-facing theories. This defines the duty of the Afrisopher, to protect the civil soul of the past while continuously expanding the boundaries of civil knowledge. Afrisophy transforms African civilization from a fragmented subject of study into a permanent, structured source of universal scholarly inquiry for the flourishing of all humanity.